Welcome to Inside Sim Racing. I'm Sean Cole, and I have to tell you, around the studio, we get to have a ton of fun, obviously, testing things all the time, and nothing is more important than, well, the sims themselves. And a close runner-up to that would be wheels. As a PC sim racer, there are many wheels to choose from, and this extends to the PS3 as well. But when it comes to the Xbox, there's always been a limited amount of wheels, and Fanatec has always been on the quest to supply that wheel. And with Forza Motorsport 4 coming, it's become even more important. So that brings us to this wheel, the CSR wheel by Fanatec. The wheel is licensed by Microsoft and Turn 10 and is the official wheel of Forza Motorsport 4. The wheel goes for $249.99 for the wheel only and is compatible with any of the Fanatec pedals or even the G27 pedals with an adapter. We tested our version with the Club Sport Elite pedals valued at $149.99, but you could even run them with the standard pedals for only $29.95. We also used along with the Fanatec shifter for $59.99, and that brought our test setup to $460. The entire set is Xbox 360, PS3, and PC compatible. When used on the Xbox, the wheel is wireless, and for the PS3 and PC connects through a USB cable provided. When in Xbox mode, the wheel has a plug-in spot and will work with Xbox communication. Force feedback is handled by a Mabuchi 550 motor, and there are two additional smaller motors that can provide engine and ABS feedback into the wheel rim. Like other Fanatec wheels, there is a LED display that allows for onboard tuning of the wheel. The adjustments that can be made are in rotation, allowing anywhere from 90 to 900 degrees. You can adjust the force feedback, sensitivity, dampening, drift mode, and more. You can also pre-program up to 5 different presets for different games or gaming systems. There are 10 buttons on the wheel, including the typical A, B, X, and Y buttons, and a thumbstick typical to an Xbox controller. There are gigantic aluminum paddle shifters that can be reached from many hand positions. The case of the CSR wheel is a carryover from all previous 911 wheels, with exception to its gloss black finish and Forza red colored vents that have larger openings. The wheel rim is where you find the most noticeable differences between this wheel and previous 911 versions. The center portion of the wheel is a thick aluminum piece with a much more race-like wheel attached to it. The rim of the wheel is gloss black plastic that is obviously two pieces put together. At the 9 and 3 hand positions is an interesting multiple texture ergonomic grip. A combination of rubber, Alcantara, and the plastic rim makes for a very unique hand position and feel. And to finish the wheel off, it's got the cool Forza logo proudly displayed right there in the center. So that's everything you need to know about one of the sexiest wheels to enter the sim racing market yet. The real test is going to be how does it perform on the track. I'm going to take a quick break, and when I return, I'm going to tell you about the pros, the cons, I'm going to score it, and I'm going to give you some final thoughts on the wheel.
Tamiya's extensive lineup of radio-controlled vehicles provides hobbyists with the joy of running exact replicas of their favorite car, tank, or off-road vehicle. Another attraction of these vehicles is their use of high-grade materials, such as nylon resin, carbon fiber, and polycarbonate. With precise mechanical systems, the maintenance and adjustment of the various components, as well as performance upgrading with optional parts, allows for truly competitive racing. For more information about Tamiya, visit us at www.tamiyausa.com.
Welcome back to the show, and now it's time to really get into things. And the first and most obvious question is this just another 911 wheel kind of rebranded? So let's talk about the pros and cons, starting with the cons. And the first one is the buttons are just a little bit further than I'd like them to be. With the orange buttons too far from your thumbs during times when you need it in Formula 1 2011, for example. Another con is the plastic wheel and the snap-together type construction. Although I pretty much leave my hands at 9 and 3 when grabbing the wheel, on the top you can feel the seam and it feels a little cheap. The next con is a carryover from the 911 wheels, and that's the mounting clamp. I highly recommend hard mounting the wheel. It has the same mount locations as other 911 bodied wheels. And another con is that it actually doesn't come with any pedals, so you better be ready to buy a set of pedals immediately to get this thing working. Fortunately, as I mentioned earlier, Fanatec has several different pedals to choose from. And the last con is the price. Right now with the G27 on sale, you can practically buy 2 G wheels for that price, but then again, you'd have no Xbox compatibility. Now let's move on to the pros. They have much better paddle shifters versus the old Fanatec wheels. There's a positive click and you can reach them from multiple hand positions. Another pro is the ergo grip. I love the ergo grip and it's perfect for my hands. I love the different materials, including the patches of Alcantara at certain spots on my hand. Another pro, and this is a big one, and that's the Xbox, PC, and PS3 compatibility. This is hands down the best wheel that I've ever tested on the Xbox. Another pro is that this wheel feels much more like a race car wheel than the previous Porsche wheels did to me. I mean that in both the looks department as well as the in the hands feel, much more like a race car than before. Another pro, and this is about when use in Forza, and that's allowing the use of the clutch and an H-pattern shifter. This is something that you really have to try just to believe. Another pro is that it looks cool. The high gloss rim and the base stand out, and the red vents and the buttons give it some flair. Another pro is that the wheel is very quiet. Not a bunch of gear-on-gear noise, and that translates into a very smooth feel as well. Another pro is great force feedback, a combination of light touch effects that are felt as well as delivering strong forces at extreme moments. And the next pro is that this is my favorite wheel ever. As fast turning as the G27, smoother than the G27, more versatility than the G27, and at the same time it's faster and quicker turning than other 911 wheels from the past. So as you can see, I am rather blown away by this wheel. I mean, to be honest with you, this is the wheel that's going on my rig right now. And therefore, on the rev scale, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, with my only real gripes being the price and the seam down the middle of the wheel. Now, when comparing it to a 911 wheel, there are a couple of differences that stand out for me, and this is the best way to describe it. The 911 wheel feels very much like and appropriate for street car type driving. If I spent most of my time in street cars, this wheel is slightly dampened by its center mass, and the feel is much more like the feel of a real street car. But the CSR wheel feels much more like a racing car wheel. It's quick, it's even a little twitchy by comparison, and therefore this wheel suits me just fine. I hope you've enjoyed my review of the CSR wheel. It's been a pleasure bringing it to you. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.
Whoa. I think we're overdoing it a little bit. That was like the whole street or something. That was everything.
No, it wasn't.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
just
it
us.
was you. Okay.